Welcome to today's guided practice session. My name's Adam Maness. Today, we have a very special day because we are going to learn to play like one of the great young jazz pianists out there. We are going to learn how to play like Christian Sands. There he is. Look at that dapper gent up there sliding up the piano. Amazing pianist, amazing artist, amazing musician. And we're going to learn a little bit of how Christian might phrase some melodic lines today. It's something that I actually talked about with my buddy Peter Martin on our You'll Hear It podcast about transcribing just the rhythm of a line and trying to then superimpose that with your own playing. Now, there is a PDF involved where you can follow along to the melodic content that we've pulled out from Christian's solo off a YouTube video of Bolivia, the great Cedar Walton tune. So download that. That's yours to take. Also, by the way, Christian is going to be playing a masterclass with our Open Studio members later this week. That's just for Open Studio members only at openstudiojazz.com. So if you want to get in on this Zoom masterclass and watch Christian coach 3 Open Studio members, or if you want access to future masterclasses or all of our Open Studio courses, we have a deal for you to get 25% off of our Piano Access Pass. That's all the piano stuff that we make and these masterclasses. So check that out there. That's enough of that. Let's get to this great line. So what I want to do today is first listen to Christian Sands' an excerpt of his solo from Bolivia, the great Cedar Walton tune, and then break down a couple of melodic ideas that I think we can take his motif building and apply our own playing to it. This is a really simple way to sort of get out of the rut of your own rhythmic and melodic motifs by checking out what these great players have done. Let's check it out. Here's Bolivia. Just his solo on Bolivia, by the way. All right, isn't that terrific? Let's listen to it again. And this time, though, I want you to, let's listen to it. We can follow along here. We're in Sound Slice where the notation is playing along. I want you to try to pick out the times where he'll play a motif, right? A rhythmic and melodic idea, right? Something that has a shape both melodically and rhythmically. And pick out those times where he does that and then repeats it. See how many of those you can spot in this brief excerpt of his solo on Bolivia. Just check out how many times he'll play an idea and then repeat it in a different way. Right off the bat there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. That's what he did on the first day, by the way. There. So swinging. Again, so if you want to download the PDF of this, you can download that. We'll put the link to the sound slice here so you can check out the full transcription if you want to geek out over what the language Christian Sands is playing here over these chords. But I just kind of want to talk about one aspect of this. I want to just break down a little bit what he is doing here with some of this language. So if we start, I'm going to start here at this one phrase in the bridge. We can take this phrase and notice how he uses a similar shape melodically and rhythmically, and he just repeats that. He does this several times throughout this chorus. We were kind of tabbing them up there. So check it out here. Over this G7 on the bridge, right? Ba doo doo da 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 doo do is a great little. It's something that he obviously just played this and was like, just doing that again reinforces it, right? It makes it a stronger statement as opposed to just completely everything is random. So we don't even have to learn the exact notes and exactly what he's playing over the chord. And in fact, sometimes it's cool to like just take the idea rhythmically and do our own thing with it, like explore around the changes with that idea. So if we just look at the rhythm here, right? And well, I'll still play a G7 here as the chord, but we have just the original. But if we just take that away, all of the notes that Christian plays, and just start moving it around the G7. So this is like a G mixolydian you could do. You could do whatever scale you want. It actually doesn't matter. And it's fun to explore the different note options here. But just keep that general rhythmic and melodic shape. So for this over the G7, I might do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Just exploring there all these different ways you might get around. And I was just staying like really within one small region of that G7 on the keyboard, right? So this idea of just keeping the rhythmic shape and the melodic shape. See how the notes even, they just kind of have the same dago, dago, do, do, dago, daga, da, and moving it around the chord. That's the work we're going to do today. So not even transcribing his solo, but just transcribing the rhythm and the shape of the line and then applying our own playing over it. So what does this look like in practice? What if we took the changes to Bolivia here, and you see I have the rhythmic line there, and we just practice putting this over the changes? What would that sound like? 1, 2, 3, and... Maybe just placing it. And then when we get to the A section, now we're trying to put it over real changes. Again, trying to displace it. It doesn't matter if everything sounds good or if it sounds repetitive. We're really just trying to put this rhythm over different chord changes, over different melodic ideas with the same rhythm and the same shape. This can be just incredibly useful. And what's good too is this will start to come out in your performance where you're actually creating melodies that have a bit of a structure to it, as opposed to just kind of a rambling feel, that we can sometimes get. This really helps to put some structure. So what you'll find is the more you kind of do this work, if you you'll play something hip, right? Like it doesn't have to be this even, but just like, and you'll be like, oh, I like that. And you answer yourself with the same structure. Let's practice doing this structure. So I'm going to play a little bit of a bass line for you and some chords as well. This is for all instruments. I want you to see if you can keep this motif going, this rhythmic and melodic motif, putting it over the changes, using whatever scale that you want to over these changes. We're going to do the form to Bolivia. Let's do a couple times through. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... Here's the E flat. Here we go. Back to the top. Do it again. Have another chorus. Woo. Repeat. Here's the A section. You go. All right. It's too much fun. Bolivia is such a fun tune. Shout out to Cedar Walton. But again, just taking Christian Sand's rhythmic and melodic motif here and making it our own. Again, you can even start to change it, right? To let it morph into something else. Whatever your ear hears to hear, it's really all about just exploring the possibilities over these changes. Okay, next up, what if we tried a line? This actually happens just before the line we just tried. So this would be like a G7, but he's doing sort of like a Lydian dominant thing. Right? So this is a little more of a shapy thing than it is a rhythmic thing, because it's all just a string of eighth notes. But this sort of triad, right? It goes up this A major triad and then lands in the note in between the top two notes. And then does it again. And then again. So what if we took that shape around? Let's look at it as if it were a rhythm. So it would look something like this. You could move it all around, whatever scale you wanted. And again, once we get to the form, it's going to matter, like when you change the scale. Just moving that shape around is what we want to actually do here. So let's give it a shot. Same thing. I'm going to slow it down just a hair here. So just moving this. And you can displace it rhythmically. In fact, that's really, really great work to do. Let's try it over Bolivia. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here's the E flat. Again, just keeping that same rhythmic and melodic shape over these changes. Let's have another go. Super fun, right? Here we go. I miss playing this tune. It's so much fun. So again, just taking these melodic content devices and displacing them over these changes. Let's do one more of these. Let's check it out here. So this happens towards the end of a solo. This little triplet figure. This is something you hear a lot of players do quite a bit of. So what does this look like if we were to just break this down rhythmically? So we can actually just break it down to the figure itself. So we can maybe even keep the B minor 7. Just keeping it going up, different shapes, but that general shape of the dun 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 dun, and just trying to keep that going over the changes. What does that look like? Let's try it again over Bolivia, just moving these rhythmic motifs over the changes. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Here we go. Here's the E flat. Back to the top. Z flat. There it is, folks. It's so good. Oh, man. Look at that. So 3 ideas, 3 melodic motifs that we can work through the same changes that the great Christian Sands was working through. Let's check it out one more time, what he played, that whole solo, and then see if you can spot these same motifs happening, or even more, because there are more than I just picked out 3. There's probably a dozen in this short excerpt. Let's check it out. Again. Do it again. I mean, it goes on throughout the whole thing. Like that's how he's making that solo work, is just by, I mean, this is what all great players naturally do, is like they have their own language, not only of, how they get through tunes and how they express themselves melodically, but how they build those melodic phrases into different motifs. So it's really cool just to notice that and then to work those things through in our own playing. As always, everything we do around here is sponsored by Open Studio. Go to openstudiojazz.com for a deeper dive. If this is the kind of stuff you like, hit that like or subscribe button for us. And by the way, Christian Sands is doing a masterclass with us at Open Studio later this week. If you want to be a part of that, we have a bit of a discount on a membership to Open Studio, which we rarely do. So take advantage of that if you want to jump in on that masterclass coming up this Friday. Or if you're watching this later, we have masterclasses once a month all the time with really great artists like Christian, Billy Childs, Fred Hirsch has done several. I mean, it's really spectacular, this program that we have going. Edward Simon, just a ton of great musicians. Gerald Clayton, list goes on and on. So become a member today. You can save a little bit of money there for that. Thank you so much, folks. Super fun playing with you today. Super fun practicing. Until next time, happy practicing.